Welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast, where we talk about fitness, health, and anything to help you become the most optimal human beings. Let's dive into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Jerred Moon here with Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
Just ready to sit here, look pretty, and see how we're going to be programming.
Yeah, so that I'm going to be going over programming today. If you are listening to this podcast episode, it will be much better viewed. We're covering more and more programming just to let people know how it works and how we do it. So this is from how we program a month, and I'm going to kind of give you the overview for what we do, like on our hard to kill track and things that you want to think about. I'm not going to get super detailed into the weeds about every single, like how many blocks we program and all those kind of things, because I want to keep this as an overview video, but I still think it would be incredibly helpful for anybody looking to put together their own month of concurrent training. So we did a weekly concurrent training template that's on the YouTube channel that we got a lot of great feedback on. So here is the month. So that week template had like these 5 areas broken down every single day, right? So like in this example, this is like one day. So if you think about covering all of those, like each one of these blocks is a day. So let me go over this real quick. This is how we pretty much program at Garage Gym Athlete. All right, so let's get into it. We have a major and a minor. So, and then you'll see on the right-hand side of my screen, I have 13 different areas that we typically cover. So let's just say that we wanted to have strength as our major, which is 1 on this chart. And we wanted to do aerobic endurance, which is 8 on our chart, as our minor. Now, what we teach in our programming methodology is you allot a certain amount of blocks for the major and a certain amount of blocks for the minor to make sure that there's enough emphasis in hitting those blocks each week. And so what this would look like, if I were to just kind of program by the numbers, I would hit strength here, I would hit strength here, I would hit strength here. And, you can mix this up, and then maybe it would only be the allotted blocks were hit twice in the second week. The third week, we might do the same format as the first week. So we're hitting it 3 different days. And so now we have the strength major hit. And the reason I'm not doing anything on this 4th week is because it's typically deload, which is body geo for us. And so just like legit how I program when I'm looking at it. And then so after I plugged in all the major, I'm like, okay, this is going to take X amount of time. I have 5 training blocks every day. I would program all the strength training blocks if that was my major for that month or that cycle. And then I would go into programming my aerobic endurance. And so I might just do that on like Fridays, the final day of the week, because typically aerobic endurance takes a lot of time. And that would be about it, all I would have to hit. There might be some additional, like some smaller times I would need to hit it in different parts of the week. And so if you can't tell, I have numbers corresponding to like what's being programmed. And then I would have the minor coverage. So first we program our major and our minor in concurrent training. And so the major's taken care of. We have like the strength programming that we want for a couple of weeks. And then secondarily, we have our minor, and the minor would be, that would be programmed. Those take priority. So if you have a goal for a 12-week cycle or 4-week wave, the major needs to take the highest priority. The minor takes the secondary priority, and then we fill in the gaps with the rest, at least on the hard to kill track. Okay, the hard to kill track is our most well-rounded track, so it wouldn't be every single training track does this, but hard to kill track would. And so what this would also look like, the reason I'm staying away from this middle day is because for us, this is rest. See how quickly this calendar fills up? So we have 4 days of program training. The 5th is a Meet Yourself Saturday. So I have deload body geometry week as the 4th week, rest on Thursdays for us. Now I'm just going to go in and basically plug in the rest. And so you can, if I just want to go in order to keep things simple, I could just be like, okay, 2, which is strength speed, good to go. And then we would do some speed strength here, some speed here. I'm kind of randomizing it. I wouldn't randomize it this much if I was actually programming. Since I'm doing this recorded live, I am going to kind of randomize it. Then we'd put in some muscle endurance here, strength endurance here, power endurance here. And then we would put our 3 energy systems, gain, pain, and sustain. So 9, 10, 11. And then we would do some mixed modal aerobic and some mixed modal anaerobic. And then those are all of the areas that we're typically hitting when we're doing the hard to kill track. And so this might look like a mess, but ultimately, if you look at the corresponding areas, we have a major that's completely focused on strength. We have a minor that's completely focused on aerobic endurance, and we spend our time there first. So we're like, okay, we will achieve being stronger with some aerobic endurance. Then we're going to hit every other area of training that we deem important, which would be strength, speed, strength, speed, muscle endurance, strength endurance, power endurance, alactic, lactic, oxidative from the energy systems, mixed modal aerobic, mixed modal anaerobic. And then boom, that is a month. Okay. And then I would do this 2 more times to program a cycle because I would have 3 total months worth of training. And in the next month, I would do the exact same thing. Strength as my major, aerobic endurance as my minor. I would make sure that all those are plugged in. I might change up how I'm accomplishing that strength goal or how I'm accomplishing that aerobic endurance goal. But I would put all that stuff in. Then I would fill the gaps with everything else. Then the only last consideration, which is a little bit more technical and you do have to play with, is just making sure everything fits in time-wise. And that's where it can get a little bit dicey because I could already tell in my brain when I was putting this programming down, I was like, you probably can't do those 2 things on the same day. And like, I just knew that right off the bat because I've been programming for so long. But for sake of an example, it works out. And so you do this 3 times, boom, you have an entire training cycle. And then if you go to the next training cycle, and how we do it on Hard to Kill at Garage Gym Athlete is we probably switch it up. So my major would be the next training cycle. My major might be speed strength. Or my major might be aerobic endurance, or it might be mixed modal aerobic. Like any of these can be the major and the minor. I chose strength and aerobic endurance just to make it easy. That's what a lot of people are after. But we switch these up all the time. What the major is, the minor, and then making sure we hit all those training areas to keep everything incredibly well balanced. So any thoughts, considerations, Joe, that you maybe something I missed or didn't clarify?
Yeah, I might just have some questions, if anything, for clarity for other people as well. So the major is the strength, and as we've gone through in the past, there are 4 different aspects or pieces to the strength continuum: strength, speed, strength, and speed. Now, when programming the major, would you include those speed, strength, speed as your major programming? So if you wanted to maybe make sure you're focusing on those during, would you count those as your major or just straight strength?
Yeah. So in general terms, I would, but with this specific template, I do not, because when I say strength, like number 1 is what we're programming, and that's the major. What I mean in that regard is like raw strength. So I'm excluding the strength continuum that would include strength, speed, strength, and speed. Those are all going to be programmed separately outside of strength alone.
Yeah. And if you're looking at this and just going over it, this is kind of how Hard to Kill follows because it's hitting every single energy system. But as you go into other ones like strength or endurance, you might have more strength on one side, more endurance on the other side. I know with me programming strength, I will have each of the energy systems hit over a 12-week cycle, but not 3 weeks. So I might just do gain 1 month and then pain the next month or something like that, or kind of mix it up there. But this is how you can kind of govern what your emphasis is and how it can fit your goals. Because if you want to focus more on strength, then hit 1 or 2 of these energy systems in the first 3 weeks, deload, and then hit the other ones in the next 3 weeks. So at least over a 12-week period, you hit everything. But if you want to emphasize on certain areas, that's going to be your majors, and that's going to be your prime focus. And it'd probably work out that way if your major was strength and your minor was muscle endurance. Then you're going to be doing a lot of lifting, and then you'll have energy system training will fit in between there. But as long as you're fitting it in over a 12-week view, so this is only 1 month, but it's just more to consider if you were to put together your programming.
Yeah, and like he said, our other tracks don't necessarily follow. They follow this idea, but they don't have to hit every single area. Like it's not a requirement. When I have Marco program the Endure track, I'm not like, hey Marco, make sure you hit all 13 of these areas. He might include some of those because he's aware of all of them and he programs off the same template. But he might be like, realistically, I need to put in aerobic endurance, and then you'll really realize when you're following this template what you can't do and what might have to be eliminated. That's why our hard to kill track is so, I would just say, unique, because it fits all these things in one way or another. But if you are wanting to do like a marathon based program, something purely endurance, you're going to quickly run out of training blocks to where you can't train all these other things. And so you're just going to have to make those sacrifices. And so things that happen on the endure and the strength track is that they just hit them on a broader scale. So maybe over the course of a year, not every single 30 days. On the hard to kill track, we're hitting all of these every 30 days. And to be honest, we're doing it within 3 weeks because of the deload week there. And so that makes it incredibly well-rounded. And it leaves, like, I would have to do like the computation, but 47 million like different ways you could program a hard to kill track month or like a concurrent training month and hit all these areas, because there's like endless combinations that you could do between the major and the minor, and then following up with 11 different things after that. So it'll keep you busy for a long time if you program this way, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hopefully you guys like this on programming. I do think in future videos, we're going to break this area down a lot more. So training areas, I think some people don't know how to program strength speed, or power endurance, mixed motor, or anaerobic training. So I think would be great for some future content. If you guys do want to see that stuff, let me know. If you're in the YouTube, watching this on YouTube, let us know in the comments that you would like to see those things, so we can start gearing up for more content like that. And if you are on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, like. And if you're listening to this, 5-star review and a positive comment really helps in your favorite podcast player, guys. But thanks for watching or listening. Thanks for listening to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Thanks for listening.